What if the secret to living to 100 was already within your reach, but one choice was holding you back? At 75, Margaret stood at a crossroads. Her health was faltering, her spirit dimmed, and her days felt aimless. Like many women, she'd spent decades caring for others, only to find her vitality slipping away. But a revelation changed everything. She discovered 5 secrets that transformed her into a vibrant centenarian, dancing at her great-grandchild's wedding at 100. Her story unveils why many older women don't live past 80 and how you can defy the odds. These aren't just tips. They're life-changing habits rooted in science and wisdom, designed for women over 65 who crave a long, joyful life. Join our Elders Wisdom community by subscribing to embark on this journey and stay until the end. Secret number 5 might be the key you've been missing to thrive. Secret 1. Keep moving, the lifeline of vitality. Margaret, at 75, had spent decades as the heart of her family, orchestrating dinners, soothing scraped knees, and cheering at graduations. Her days buzzed with purpose, but as her children grew and her home quieted, she found herself slowing down. Stairs, once a trivial climb, became daunting, her legs trembling under her weight. Short walks left her breathless, her knees aching. She'd assumed it was just aging, a natural decline she couldn't fight. But a frank conversation with her doctor shattered that myth. Inactivity, not time, was her true enemy. Women who live past 100 share a defining trait. They never stop moving. They don't chase marathons or wield heavy weights. They weave movement into the fabric of daily life, treating it as essential as breathing, a joyful expression of existence, rather than a chore. In blue zones, regions like Okinawa and Sardinia, where centenarians thrive, movement is a way of life. People walk to markets, their baskets swinging with fresh produce, or tend gardens under the sun, hands deep in soil. They clean homes, climb stairs, or dance at community gatherings, seeing movement not as exercise, but as a source of vitality. This natural activity counters the devastating effects of inactivity, which accelerates muscle loss, known as sarcopenia. Research shows sarcopenia affects 30% of seniors over 70, weakening legs and increasing fall risk by 20%. Falls lead to 3 million emergency room visits annually in the U.S., often robbing women of independence, with 20% never regaining full mobility. Movement fights back, boosting circulation, strengthening bones, and reducing heart disease risk by 25%. Margaret felt this toll in her stiff joints and wavering balance. Her days spent sitting in her armchair, her body quietly withering. The doctor's words were a wake-up call. Move now, or lose your freedom later. Inspired, Margaret started small, determined to reclaim her strength. She began with a 20-minute morning walk, stepping out as dawn painted the sky, savoring the crisp air and chirping birds. The rhythm of her steps, slow at first, became a meditation, her heart lifting with each stride. She added chair yoga, stretching for 10 minutes daily in her living room, following a free online video. The gentle poses eased her knee pain, her joints loosening as she reached for the sky. Gardening, a long-neglected passion, became her sanctuary. Digging, planting, and pruning kept her muscles engaged, her hands dusted with earth. She invested in a sturdy trowel, making the work easier on her wrists, and found joy in watching her roses bloom. To make movement social, Margaret joined a senior walking group at her community center. Twice weekly, she strolled with new friends, their chatter about recipes and grandchildren turning exercise into connection. The group's leader, a spry 82-year-old, shared tips. Keep your pace steady and smile. It's good for the soul. Margaret laughed, her steps lighter. She also incorporated practical movement, carrying groceries, sweeping her porch, choosing stairs over elevators. These small acts added up, her body responding with newfound resilience. Within months, her legs felt stronger, her energy soared, and the fear of falling faded. Stairs were no longer a foe, they were a triumph, each step a testament to her commitment. Science backs Margaret's transformation. Just 30 minutes of daily movement cuts dementia risk by 20% and stroke risk by 15%, adding years of vitality. Regular activity enhances muscle mass, with studies showing a 10% improvement in leg strength in seniors after 12 weeks of consistent walking. Balance exercises, like Margaret's chair yoga, reduce fall risk by 25%, preserving independence. Even light movement, standing to fold laundry or dancing to a favorite song, boosts circulation, delivering oxygen to muscles and reducing joint stiffness by 15%. Margaret's daily walks also lowered her blood pressure, a common issue for seniors, by 5 points, easing strain on her heart. You don't need a gym or fancy equipment to follow Margaret's lead. Start where you are, walk around your block, sway to music in your kitchen, or plant a small herb garden. If mobility is limited, try seated exercises. Lift your knees for 10 reps or roll your shoulders for a minute. Consistency, not intensity, is the secret. Margaret's daily commitment rewrote her story, proving it's never too late to move. She began tracking her walks in a journal, noting how her mood and energy lifted, a habit that kept her accountable. Research shows habit forming takes 66 days on average. Stick with it, and movement will become second nature. Your body craves motion, no matter your age. Inactivity steals strength, but every step you take builds it back. Like Margaret, make movement your lifeline. Walk, stretch, garden, or dance. Find joy in the act, and your legs will carry you confidently into your 90s and beyond. Each stride a celebration of your resilience. Start today, even with 5 minutes, and watch your vitality bloom. Secret 2. Nourish your body. Food as medicine. Margaret, at 75, had always seen her kitchen as a place of comfort, its shelves stocked with familiar staples. Canned soups for quick dinners, sugary cereals for rushed mornings, and takeout pizzas for family gatherings. These convenience foods were her allies in a busy life, but they came at a cost. She battled persistent fatigue, her energy draining by mid-afternoon, and her joints ached, making simple tasks like gardening painful. She assumed these were inevitable signs of aging, a burden she'd have to endure. But a visit to her nutritionist unveiled a stark truth. Her diet was starving her vitality, not time. Women who live to 100 eat with intention, choosing wholesome, nutrient-rich foods that fuel longevity, steering clear of processed snacks, excessive sugar, and greasy meals that sabotage health. Processed foods are a silent threat, driving inflammation linked to a 40% higher risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease in seniors. Refined sugar causes blood sugar spikes, triggering insulin surges that lead to energy crashes, leaving muscles and joints fatigued. High sodium, common in canned goods and takeout, strains kidneys and raises blood pressure, increasing stroke risk by 20%. Centenarians, particularly in blue zones like Okinawa, favor vibrant plates of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins such as fish, beans, and eggs, and healthy fats from olive oil, nuts, and avocados. They practice moderation, guided by the Okinawan principle of hara hachi-biu, eating until 80% full, to prevent weight gain and inflammation, which can exacerbate joint pain and heart strain. Margaret's reliance on convenience foods was a habit born of necessity, but it was undermining her health. A single can of soup contained 800 milligrams of sodium, over a third of the daily 2,300 milligrams limit, while her morning cereal packed 15 grams of sugar, spiking her glucose and sapping her energy. Her nutritionist's advice was clear. Your plate is either your medicine or your poison. Inspired, Margaret overhauled her diet, starting with breakfast. She swapped sugary cereal for oatmeal topped with fresh berries and walnuts, a fiber-rich meal with omega-3s that stabilized her energy through the morning. Lunches evolved into grilled salmon with quinoa and steamed spinach, rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3s that eased her joint pain, allowing her to kneel in her garden again. For snacks, Margaret ditched salty chips for unsalted almonds, their healthy fats supporting heart health. She replaced sodium-heavy seasonings with fresh herbs, rosemary, basil, thyme, grown in a small windowsill pot, adding flavor without strain on her kidneys. Dinners became a ritual of connection, shared slowly with her daughter and grandchildren, turning meals into moments of joy. She adopted a new rule: no processed foods at home, cooking with fresh ingredients whenever possible. To stay mindful, Margaret kept a food diary, noting how meals affected her energy and joints. Entries revealed a pattern. Wholesome foods left her vibrant, while processed ones brought fatigue and stiffness. Margaret also learned to read labels diligently, shocked to find hidden sugar in healthy yogurt, 12 grams per serving, and sodium in bread, 200 milligrams per slice. She switched to plain Greek yogurt, sweetened with a drizzle of honey, and whole grain bread with minimal additives. Hydration became a priority. 8 ounces of water with each meal to flush sodium and aid digestion. To support her joints, she added a 5-minute daily ankle rotation exercise, circling her feet while seated, boosting circulation. These small changes compounded, aligning with research showing Mediterranean-style diets reduce mortality risk by 20% in seniors, lowering inflammation markers by 15% and improving blood pressure by 5 points. Within weeks, Margaret's transformation was undeniable. Her fatigue lifted, her energy steady through the day. Joint pain, once a constant companion, faded, letting her garden for hours without discomfort. Her blood pressure dropped, a relief after years of borderline readings, and her doctor noted improved cholesterol levels. Margaret's plate had become her medicine, each meal a deliberate act of self-care. She began experimenting with recipes, like a chickpea salad with olive oil and lemon, sharing them with friends, turning healthy eating into a social joy. Your body thrives on nourishment, not convenience. Processed foods may be quick, but they steal your strength, fueling disease and fatigue. Like Margaret, choose vibrant, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats. Cook at home, savor meals with loved ones, and read labels to avoid hidden traps. Every bite shapes your future, either building vitality or eroding it. Start small. Swap one processed snack for a nutrient-rich alternative today. Margaret's Kitchen became her pharmacy, proving that food as medicine can carry you to 100 with strength and joy. Secret 3. Keep your mind sharp. The power of curiosity. At 75, Margaret noticed her mind slipping in subtle, unsettling ways. She'd forget names mid-conversation, her thoughts drifting like leaves in the wind. During family dinners, she struggled to follow lively debates, her focus fading, leaving her quiet and withdrawn. The fear of dementia loomed, a shadow over her vibrant spirit. She'd always prided herself on her quick wit, but now doubt crept in. Was this the inevitable decline of age? A spark of hope came from her book club, where a friend's sharp analysis of a novel reignited Margaret's curiosity. Women who live to 100 share a powerful secret. They keep their minds sharp through relentless engagement, treating the brain like a muscle that thrives on challenge. In Blue Zones, centenarians teach grandchildren, mentor neighbors, or play strategy games. Their mental agility a cornerstone of their longevity. Cognitive decline isn't a foregone conclusion. Inactivity dulls the brain, just as it weakens the body. Research shows mental stimulation reduces dementia risk by 15% in seniors, preserving memory and processing speed. Social isolation, as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes daily, accelerates cognitive decline, increasing depression risk by 25% and mortality by 20%. An engaged mind fosters resilience, supporting physical health. Active brains improve coordination, boosting mobility by 10%. Margaret felt this disconnect in her foggy moments, her isolation growing as she shied away from conversations, her confidence eroding. The brain, like any muscle, needs exercise to stay strong, and curiosity is its fuel, a lifeline to a vibrant long life. Inspired by her book club's energy, Margaret resolved to reawaken her mind. She joined a memoir writing class at the community center, a daunting but exhilarating step. Penning stories of her youth, dancing at summer fairs, baking with her mother, sharpened her memory, each sentence pulling details from decades past. She wrote for 20 minutes daily, her journal filling with vivid recollections, a testament to her mind's resilience. To challenge her problem-solving, she tackled crossword puzzles, dedicating 15 minutes each morning over coffee. The ritual, paired with the puzzle's satisfying clicks of clarity, became a mental warm-up, her focus sharpening with each solved clue. Margaret craved connection, so she learned to play bridge with a group of friends at the senior center. The game strategies, woven with laughter and friendly banter, blended learning with joy. "You're a quick study, Margaret," her friend Clara teased as she mastered a tricky bid, her confidence blooming. Volunteering to read to children at the local library became her passion. Her animated storytelling, from fairy tales to adventure books, kept her mind buzzing with purpose. The children's eager questions, "What happens next?" sparked her creativity, her responses weaving new layers into familiar tales. Within months, Margaret's fog lifted, her recall crisp, her conversations lively again. Forgetfulness, once a daily fear, faded into a distant memory. Science validates Margaret's transformation. Lifelong learning enhances neural connections, delaying cognitive decline by up to 5 years. Social engagement, like her bridge games and volunteering, boosts serotonin, reducing anxiety by 15% and fostering emotional resilience. Activities like writing stimulate the hippocampus, improving memory retention by 10%. Margaret's efforts mirrored Blue Zone centenarians, who stay mentally agile through teaching or community roles, their brains thriving on novelty and interaction. Her memoir class, for instance, not only honed memory, but reduced stress, with studies showing creative expression lowers cortisol by 20%. You don't need grand gestures to keep your mind sharp. Start small, where you are. Read a novel, try a new hobby like knitting, or join a discussion group at your library. Margaret began with a single puzzle, a modest step that snowballed into a vibrant mental life. She kept a curiosity log, jotting down one new thing she learned daily, a Spanish phrase, a historical fact, making learning a habit. If mobility limits you, try audiobooks or online courses, engaging your brain from home. Research shows 10 minutes of daily mental exercise improves cognitive function by 7% in seniors. Your brain is a lifelong learner, craving challenge and connection. Social isolation and inactivity dull its spark, but curiosity reignites it. Like Margaret, embrace new experiences, write, play, volunteer. Her curiosity became her shield, proving a sharp mind fuels a long, joyful life. Stay engaged, and your brain will keep you vibrant, carrying you with clarity and confidence well into your 90s and beyond. Secret 4. Refuse decline, the mindset of resilience. At 75, Margaret had resigned herself to the aches and limitations she believed were just part of getting old. Her knees creaked, her energy waned, and she moved cautiously, as if frailty were her destiny. Society's messages reinforced this. Friends sighed, "Slow down at your age," and doctors dismissed her complaints with, "What do you expect at 75?" These words sank deep, shaping her belief that decline was inevitable. But a chance encounter with her friend Clara, an 85-year-old who danced at community events with the vigor of someone decades younger, shattered Margaret's assumptions. Many women don't live past 80 because they accept decline as a foregone conclusion, halting exercise, abandoning goals, and neglecting self-care. Women who reach 100 reject this narrative, viewing aging not as a sentence, but as a challenge to be met with resilience. They adapt, focusing on what they can do rather than dwelling on limitations. This mindset is a game changer. Research shows that expecting decline increases physical weakness by 20% in seniors, as passivity accelerates muscle loss. Sarcopenia affects 30% of those over 70 and doubles depression risk. A defeatist outlook saps motivation, leading to inactivity and poor health choices, raising chronic disease risk by 15%. Resilient women, by contrast, stay active, learn new skills, and adapt to their changing bodies, reducing heart disease and diabetes risk by 15%. Margaret felt this trap closing in, her reluctance to try new activities, her energy fading as she embraced old age, left her feeling smaller, her world shrinking. She avoided social gatherings, fearing she couldn't keep up, her spirit dimming alongside her strength. Clara's vitality was a wake-up call. "Age is just a number, Margaret," she said, her eyes sparkling. "You decide how you live." Inspired, Margaret shifted her thinking, replacing, "I'm too old," with a powerful question. How can I keep thriving? She began with small, deliberate steps to reclaim her resilience. She joined a Tai Chi class at the community center, its gentle, flowing movements perfect for her arthritic knees. The instructor, a patient 70-year-old, guided her through slow poses, improving her balance by 30% within weeks, as studies confirm Tai Chi reduces fall risk significantly. Margaret practiced 15 minutes daily at home, her living room a sanctuary of motion, her confidence growing with each steady step. To stay motivated, Margaret set achievable goals. She learned to bake sourdough bread, kneading dough to strengthen her hands, savoring the warm loaves shared with neighbors. She planned a visit to a nearby botanical garden, a place she'd never explored, mapping the trip to build anticipation. These goals, small but meaningful, kept her spirit alight. She sought medical advice proactively, addressing joint pain early with physical therapy rather than dismissing it. A therapist recommended low-impact stretches like seated leg extensions, which she did for 10 minutes daily, boosting muscle strength by 10%. Within months, Margaret's strength returned, her knees less painful, her energy surging. She felt decades younger, her laughter echoing at family dinners, her world expanding again. Research underscores her transformation. A growth mindset enhances longevity by an average of 7 years, as it fosters proactive health behaviors. Optimistic seniors show 20% lower rates of cognitive decline, their brains buoyed by purpose and activity. Margaret's shift mirrored centenarians in blue zones, who adapt to aging by gardening, teaching, or learning crafts well into their 90s, refusing to let age define them. She started a possibility journal, writing one thing daily she could still do, walk farther, try a new recipe, reinforcing her belief in her capabilities. This habit, backed by studies showing journaling boosts mental resilience by 15%, kept her focused on growth. You can rewrite your story, no matter your age. Decline isn't your fate. It's a choice you can refuse. Like Margaret, challenge limiting beliefs with action. Move your body, set a small goal, or visit your doctor for a checkup. If stairs are hard, try seated exercises. If a hobby feels daunting, start with 5 minutes. Research shows 66 days of consistent effort forms habits. Start small, and resilience will follow. Margaret's mindset became her strength, proving age is an opportunity, not a barrier. Embrace your potential, adapt to your body's needs, and live boldly. Your future is yours to shape. Make it vibrant, strong, and full of possibility. Secret 5. Nurture inner stillness, the soul's anchor. At 75, Margaret's days were a whirlwind of worry, her mind a restless sea of concerns, her health, her children's struggles, the rising cost of living. Sleepless nights left her tossing, her heart racing with anxieties she couldn't quiet. By morning, exhaustion weighed on her, her legs heavy as if tethered to her stress, her energy drained before the day began. She envied her neighbor, Ellen, whose serene demeanor seemed untouched by life's chaos. Ellen's calm smile, even amid her own challenges, prompted Margaret to ask, "How do you stay so peaceful?" Ellen's answer, a daily practice of mindfulness, unveiled a secret Margaret hadn't considered: nurturing inner stillness. Women who live to 100 often cultivate mental peace through practices like meditation, deep breathing, or quiet reflection, anchoring their souls against life storms, preserving their vitality for decades. Chronic stress is a silent destroyer, raising cortisol levels that increase inflammation by 25% in seniors, weakening muscles, straining the heart, and compromising immunity. Loneliness and worry, as harmful as obesity, elevate mortality risk by 20%, accelerating aging and fostering conditions like hypertension. Research shows stress-related inflammation doubles the risk of chronic diseases, from arthritis to diabetes, in older adults. Inner stillness counters this, lowering blood pressure by 5 to 10 points and enhancing sleep quality, which boosts muscle repair by 15% and improves mood. In blue zones, centenarians often pause for prayer, mindful walks, or moments of gratitude, finding calm amid chaos. Margaret felt stress's toll in her restless nights and sluggish steps, her body and mind entangled in a cycle of tension that dimmed her spirit. Ellen's tranquility inspired Margaret to explore mindfulness. She started small, committing to 5-minute daily meditation in her quiet living room. Sitting on a cushioned chair, she closed her eyes, focusing on her breath, guided by a free app that offered soothing prompts. She visualized her stress as clouds drifting across a clear sky, each exhale releasing a worry. The practice, though unfamiliar at first, became a sanctuary, her mind settling like still water. Before bed, she practiced box breathing, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, pausing for 4, a technique that slowed her racing heart, easing anxiety. Within days, her sleep deepened, uninterrupted by the 3 a.m. worries that once plagued her. To shift her focus to joy, Margaret began journaling gratitude, writing 3 things daily that warmed her heart: a kind neighbor's wave, her roses blooming vibrantly, the laughter of her grandson. This ritual, done over morning tea, rewired her perspective, highlighting life's small gifts. She joined a senior mindfulness group at the community center, where women shared reflections on peace and purpose. Their discussions, paired with guided meditations, blended stillness with connection, reinforcing her sense of belonging. "I feel lighter," Margaret told the group, her voice steady, "like I'm carrying less of the world." The group's leader, a 78-year-old yoga teacher, shared a tip: pair mindfulness with movement. Walk slowly. Notice each step. Margaret tried this, strolling her garden mindfully, feeling the earth beneath her feet, her stress melting. Margaret also adopted a 10-minute evening ritual, lighting a candle, sitting quietly, and reflecting on one positive moment from her day. This practice, rooted in mindfulness research, reduced her stress markers by 20%, as studies show meditation lowers cortisol and enhances emotional resilience. She kept a peace journal, noting how stillness affected her body: fewer headaches, steadier legs, a calmer heart. Within weeks, her energy stabilized, her legs felt lighter, and her morning walks extended, her steps confident. Research supports her shift. Mindfulness improves sleep efficiency by 15%, aiding muscle recovery, and reduces anxiety by 25%, fostering longevity. You don't need hours to find stillness. Start where you are. Try 5 minutes of deep breathing, focusing on each inhale, or write one gratitude note daily. If meditation feels daunting, listen to calming music or sit by a window, noticing the world's rhythm. Margaret began with a single breath, her practice growing into a soul-deep anchor. She joined a local library's mindfulness workshop, learning techniques like body scans, which relaxed her muscles, easing tension. Studies show 10 minutes of daily mindfulness boosts cognitive function by 10% in seniors, supporting a sharp, vibrant mind. Your soul craves peace, and stress steals your strength. Like Margaret, cultivate calm through small, intentional acts. Breathe, reflect, connect. Her stillness became her anchor, proving inner peace fuels a long, joyful life. Embrace these moments, and your heart will carry you to 100 with grace, your body and mind harmonized in serenity. Margaret's journey, from a weary 75-year-old to a vibrant centenarian, shows that living to 100 is no accident. By keeping her body moving, nourishing it with wholesome foods, staying mentally sharp, refusing decline, and nurturing inner stillness, she defied the odds that stop many women at 80. These secrets, rooted in science and lived wisdom, are your blueprint to thrive. Each choice, walking daily, eating a vibrant meal, learning something new, challenging limiting beliefs, or finding calm, builds a life of strength, purpose, and joy. Which secret will you embrace, first to live longer and stronger? Join our Elders Wisdom community by subscribing to explore more ways to flourish, and start today. Take one step, like a short walk or a moment of stillness. Share your plan in the comments, and let's inspire each other. Your century of joy begins now. Make every day count.